burning. It is all around us. Like change in an old system, like my desire for something better, like the community I found. Humans have been burning things almost as long as we've been humans. In a way, fire is as intertwined with our humanity as tools are, as art is. We burn our dead, we burn our food, and when you get a bunch of artists together who want something different, we burn art. Alchemy is a Georgia burn, and the one I call home. Through the years, we as a community have been trying to burn more art, so we created labs, or large art burns, and now we burn a sculpture every night of the event. 2023 was the first year I built and burnt a piece of my own art, and once I got a taste, I developed a hunger. When they announced the theme for 2024, I immediately started to form lab designs. Later, I was informed that not only did they want me to build my design, but our artist friend Tom had suggested we combine our designs for effigy. Then came meetings, budget creation, figuring the log count, and so many decisions. What lights, what wood, what tools, which DJ, and when to harvest. Harvest is a feat unto itself. The minimum goal was 10,000 linear feet of log. It was the middle of Georgia summer. High heat, air thick, working amidst poison ivy and far too many yellow jacket nests. As I was dragging logs through the woods on one of these days, I realized that despite all the struggles, I was not suffering. Work is not misery. Hating the work you are doing is what makes you miserable. I spent many weekends in August and September working on art alongside my schoolwork. As October approached, I felt more and more like a sheepdog trapped in an apartment. On October 5th, 2024, I finally stepped into my new world. The morning when we got there, the field was covered in dew. The grass was long and the site stood empty of any human touch. In the first 2 days, we built the frame for my ship, and Tom had gotten the frame of his portal up. The first goal was done. Every piece added would be an accomplishment. First, we covered the ship with siding. We would need a secret door to load the ship with fuel. We added a wheel. And a crow's nest. Tom spent days on the VR, adding sticks to the outer edge of his portal. We used a draw knife to create feathers.
There we go! And now we have a spear!
Now we have a spear!
And later I put together the figurehead of the ship. I cut sails.
There.
And finally we attached the sails to the spars.
sails!
When burn day came, nervous energy racked my body as we completed the final part of the build, hobbling. So many people, the safety team, the perimeter, our fire team, our art team, and a plethora of other volunteers came together for this moment. Humans want to be around each other, and as we prepared to burn, I saw a crowd of people circled around the effigy. They moved together, danced together, sang together, and when the fire began, we watched together. I walked into this story knowing how it would end. Waking up Monday morning fills me with anxiety akin to the Sunday scaries. That same anxiety that you get before returning to the work week. I am surrounded by family. We laugh and joke and stand around the coffee maker the same as we have all week. And yet there is an undertone of sadness and understanding that we must make it all disappear. We have to leave that field, that world, as blank as when we arrived. The entire city that we built in the span of a week, gone in a matter of hours. It was a long drive back. I was covered in ashes, dirt, and sweat. My body was recovering from various minor cuts and bruises acquired throughout the week. I felt the bone-deep weight of exhaustion. All I wanted was a shower. I tried in vain to ride the dopamine high of Alchemy for my first few days back. Unfortunately, as the days passed in an unfocused blur of distorted time, I found my mind retreating from the wonders of that bustling field and landing back in the real world. The transition from the burn to the real world is different for everyone and different from year to year. This being my third year, I was marginally more prepared for when the depression hit. I did not understand how much weight was on my shoulders until it was lifted for a few weeks. For several days, I allowed myself to be Atlas, to carry this burden and be bitter about it. But life must go on. So once I had allowed myself this time of grief for the world I was no longer in, I got to work. I began working on this documentary, something I had never, not once, worked with in my life. To make this film, I had to allow myself to become integrated, to spend time with my family. I needed to feel the burning and the cold, the cuts and the bruises, and the grief, and all of the joy. And just as importantly, I had to let myself come back. I struggled a lot making this film. It went through rewrites and edits and overhauls, debates on how vulnerable to be, about my community, about myself. But I needed to show that this very human process is important. To start with a frame, a script, an idea, build it out from there, to get as many hands on it as possible, put in the supports, work out the kinks, learn to be able to change, to revise, to move, to put things together, problem solve, learn more, lead, to make decisions, to create something, and to give it to everyone, because that's what this is, a gift. It is my art, my experiences, My brain, described in the only way I know how. And I'm used to keeping that close to my chest. But if you want change, you have to work for it. You are participating. This art was meant to be viewed, and by watching it, you've helped me create it. So, thank you for doing this with me.